I was kind of the opposite of having a career plan. And just to sort of bring this to life, my final year of university, I was living sharing a studio flat with a friend. He suddenly one day turned up in a suit, right? And this was, middle of sort of hippie student life, right? And I was like, "Have you got a funeral, or what's going on?" He said, "No, I'm going to the Milkround." So for those that don't know, the Milkround, I don't know why it's called the Milkround, but in UK universities, it's a tradition. That's the graduate fairs where you then where you go and hear about McKinsey and Goldman Sachs and Accenture. And so he was going to the Milkround because he had a very clear career plan. And his career plan was to go into consulting. I didn't really know what that meant at the time. And then he was going to get into VC, which was really early in the UK. And guess what? That's exactly what he's done. And so he followed his plan. He had a plan, he followed it. And he had a plan when he was, 20. So I was kind of the exact opposite. I kind of stumbled out of university, blinking into the light without a plan. I think there's really sort of two things anchored. I thought I need to go and see the world. In other words, I'm not going to jump straight into so because a lot of my friends who rolled out of university without a plan ended up working in the big accountancy firms, which, by the way, I think is a great start, and a really good start. But no, I wanted to go and see the world, and I always kind of assumed I would dent the universe in some shape or form. I just didn't know how. So I stumbled out. I spent actually my first permanent job, believe it or not, was when I was 26 or 27, and I left university in 21 when I was 21. So I kind of stumbled around, did some temporary jobs. This was the time of the Millennium Bug. So for the youngsters amongst you won't know this, but we were all told at the end of the last century, or the end of the last millennium actually, that the world was going to end because computers weren't able to deal with the date change.
Oh,
Yes, it sounds crazy, but there was over £500 billion was spent on fixing this problem. Planes were going to fall out of the sky, and nuclear power stations were going to explode. So there was tons of contract work there for anyone remotely intelligent. So everybody who could actually code was fixing the Millennium Bug, as it was called. So anyone who was remotely intelligent like me was doing macros for Excel and building Access databases, which at the time, the whole world was held together with Excel and Access back then.